From the very first whistle at Selhurst Park, the match felt like one of those nights where something strange was hiding behind normal football, because Crystal Palace started with confidence, energy, and the kind of bravery that makes fans believe miracles are loading. The crowd was loud, red and blue scarves were flying everywhere. Palace players were pressing, chasing, sliding, and running like they had borrowed extra lungs. And for a moment Manchester City looked human, passing sideways, resetting, waiting, almost teasing the game. Palace fans were already imagining headlines, already picturing the upset, already texting friends saying we might shock them today. But football has a cruel sense of humour, because just when Palace felt comfortable, City quietly changed gears without asking permission. One smooth build-up, one clean movement, one simple cross, and suddenly the net moved, the stadium froze. And everyone realised Manchester City had just scored like it was the most normal thing in the world. Palace defenders looked at each other in disbelief like people who missed a step on the stairs. The crowd went silent for 2 seconds before reality came back, and that goal didn't just change the score, it changed the mood, the belief, and the temperature of the game. Palace tried to respond, pushing forward with urgency, but City began to control the ball like a remote control was in Guardiola's pocket. Every Palace attack felt hopeful but unfinished, like a sentence without a full stop, and City were calm, patient, and almost disrespectfully relaxed, passing the ball around as if saying we will score again when we feel like it. The funny part was that Palace weren't terrible, they were just stuck in a football lesson they didn't sign up for. Then as the game went on, the second goal arrived, cold and precise, the kind of goal that doesn't cause anger but causes laughter from shock. Palace fans laughed not because it was funny but because the brain sometimes laughs when it cannot process disappointment, and suddenly the scoreboard said 0-2, the noise dropped, shoulders dropped, and confidence left the building quietly through the emergency exit. Guardiola stood on the touchline looking like a man checking the time while waiting for food he already ordered, while Palace players ran harder, pressed more, and tried to fight destiny itself. But City were now fully in control, slowing the game down, speeding it up, choosing when to attack like chess players moving pieces while Palace chased shadows. The crowd tried to wake the team up, clapping, shouting, singing, but every City pass felt like a reminder that hope without control is just noise. Minutes passed, Palace pushed, City defended calmly, recycled possession, and waited for the perfect moment to finish the job. And that moment came late in the game when Palace were already mentally tired, legs heavy, heads down, and belief running on reserve fuel. The third goal landed like the final notification on a phone you were hoping would stay silent, simple, clean, and final, sealing the 0-3 scoreline and killing any remaining doubt. The stadium reaction was a mix of silence, sighs, and acceptance, fans staring at the pitch like they had just watched a magic trick they couldn't explain. City players celebrated without exaggeration, like workers completing a shift they've done many times before. And that was the most shocking part. Not the goals themselves, but how inevitable everything felt. Crystal Palace didn't collapse dramatically, they didn't self-destruct, they simply ran into a team that knows exactly who they are and when to remind others of it. The match that started with noise, hope, and belief ended in calm domination, quiet lessons, and a scoreboard that told a brutally honest story. Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 3, a game where Palace dared to dream. City allowed the dream to live briefly, then woke everyone up without shouting, and by the final whistle Selhurst Park wasn't angry, it was educated, reminded once again that football doesn't always reward effort. Sometimes it rewards control, patience, and timing, and Manchester City delivered all three with a smile, leaving behind a shocked crowd, a funny sense of disbelief, and a match that will be remembered not for chaos, but for how quickly hope can disappear when the champions decide it's time to work.